Hi, I'm Celeste and welcome to Find Your Purple. Video every day for the month of April. Well, one of my sisters got me this book, A Life Beyond Amazing by Dr. David Jeremiah. And it says it's 9 decisions that will transform your life today. I haven't finished it yet, but something struck a chord with me in the first few chapters. And it was a story about a woman named Karen Tibbetts. And she was a young mother, and she moved and was starting a mommy blog. And then she was diagnosed with cancer, and her blog kind of took on a different life. And she wrote a book about her experience. But at the bottom of the page, it said then, just over a year later, on March 22nd, 2015, Kara won her battle. And you turn the page. Now, I immediately assumed she won her battle with cancer and that she lived, and it was, a real uplifting story about a person getting healed. But when you flip over the page, again, it said Karen won her battle with cancer and went home to Jesus. And that just really hit. Because I made the assumption when she won her battle that they were doing the typical, she won her battle with cancer, she lived. Because that's how so many people word it. But when you're a Christian, you look at death differently. And when he said she won her battle and she went to Jesus, it was like, that's right. Because death takes on a whole different perspective when you believe. And I think with your loved ones when they die and they believed, it makes you look at their death differently as well. I remember my mom, before she died, she had close friends. She and Dad and Muriel and Fred played cards every Friday for 40 years. And then Fred died first, my dad died second, and Muriel lived into her 80s, and she died, and my mom at that time was fragile with her health. And I remember thinking, maybe we shouldn't tell her Muriel died, but my sisters decided to tell her, and I was thinking, because it was one of the last people, that she really cared about, and my mom's reaction surprised me, and this is before I became a believer. Jealous and envious are strong words, and I don't mean it in a strong way, but she just thought, Muriel's with Fred and Dad now, and that she's made her transition. She's on the other side. She's with God, and that she kind of envied that because she knew she still had to go through the transition. So it was the transition that scared her, not death. And I remember thinking, wow, I wish I had that faith. And I didn't have Mom's faith. I was still kind of lost and struggling. And so, again, when I read this, that she won her battle with cancer and she was with the Lord, I just thought I would toss that out there, especially if someone is not sure what they believe and they're watching this. I mean, if you're watching it and you believe, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Death doesn't have the sting, as it says in the Bible. It's lost its sting. And you know how it totally changes how you view death. But if you're someone that hasn't crossed into that faith yet, think about it. I mean, I just can't tell you how different you view death. And that there's a comfort about knowing you're going to see your loved ones again. And it makes it even more and more critical that those that are here, like my daughters, that I want them to find the Lord. I want them to get that same peace. And I want to see them on the other side. So, again, that was just my, choked up. That was just my thought for the day. Until next time, as always, grab your cup of tea, sit back, and let's start sharing.